Hello everybody, just here reporting from the regionals. I ended up going 2 and 4 before dropping out, and after dropping out I went over to the official shop and got some packs. So I guess I will open packs while I explain how the matches went. So round 1 I had a no-show, which is weird since everyone had to sign in. So they signed in, and then in the time between signing in and round 1, I guess they decided they didn't want to play. But that was nice. I got a little extra time to look around. I'll show a clip, I'll cut in a clip here of the venue and what it looked like. But that was a nice way to start out the event. Then in round 2, I faced a black-yellow Moria. Went pretty well. I found an early Miss Doublefinger, which made all of their Peronas not very useful. So that worked out well there. They did find, or didn't find, the kind of cards I needed to kind of like pull back in that thing. I think it took them a couple turns to find a Dr. Hogback, and we were able to establish a pretty strong board by the time they did. So that was round 2, and I will go over dice rolls and everything like that later. So 0-2 was a pretty good start to the day, but it was not meant to be. The next round was against Mihawk, and this matchup is generally pretty good for Croc. And I was doing pretty well into it. I had a bit of an awkward start where I didn't have any card that cost less than 5 until like my 6th dawn turn. So my trash was 100% empty when I used my first Miss Doublefinger. But I was able to churn it back and got into a situation in the end game where I had 2 Crocs and 2 Miss Doublefingers on board, and I decided it was time to go for game. My opponent had 3 Dawn up, and I think like 6 or 7 cards, but they had only 1 life, and they had 3 large bodies on the board, so I didn't think that it was prudent for me to try to wait to try to survive 1 more turn, because I didn't think I had enough counter for it. After cracking my Crocodile for ground death to take away their blocker, I did find the patchwork off of that draw. So I think I could have, knowing that that patchwork was there, I think I could have figured out how to survive with a triple freeze, but I didn't know that the patchwork was going to be there. So I think I did make the correct call by going for it. But my opponent had 3 of their 4K counter events, so I was not able to secure that game. The round after that, this would be going to, I was 2-1 at this point, and I faced 2-1. The next deck I faced was Sanji, blue-purple Sanji. And then this was another one, and this is kind of going to be the theme of the day, is that I had at least 1 awkward turn in the game, and then in the end game, when I had to go for lethal, my opponents were able to maneuver through to surviving, usually down to just a single card, but that was against Sanji. After Sanji, I'm now 2-2, starting to feel a little fatigue from kind of multiple games back to back, where I think the correct move may have been to go for it, and my opponents just had enough counter for it. So next game after that was a game against Boa. I had a kind of awkward curve where on 6 Dawn, I had already played out a Bone Clay on my 4 Dawn turn, but they hadn't played anything out, so I held on to Bone Clay, swung for 7, and then just didn't have anything to play out. So I spent a whole turn pretty much not playing anything, and my opponent was able to capitalize on that lack of pressure going into the end game. I did get it really close still. The turn that I had to go for lethal, I was able to chew through, I think, like 8 cards, and they were down to just a brick left in hand. So we pushed for it once again and didn't quite get there. And this was a situation where I didn't really have an option to hold back, but really missing that single turn where I wasn't playing anything out, it really threw off my pressure, so they were able to survive. Then at 2-1, went into my final round. I figured no matter what was the outcome, I was probably going to wrap it up, but I wanted to stick it out one more round, and we faced a Nami. This one was a lot less close, whereas in the first 3 losses, I felt like it was just me misjudging the correct time to go for it and being off in my guess by 1,000 counter. This Nami matchup was not particularly close. They saw multiple heals and then just played out kind of on curve, and it was really tough for me to exert enough pressure. I was able to, again, with double finger, make their gravity blades not do anything. So I do think that I still played it pretty well. It's just Nami has a little bit too much. Croc does not do particularly well into heal. So once your opponent heals a couple times, you really start to fall behind because you won't be able to exert enough pressure to survive. Crocodiles, while good at preventing attacks, will run out of defensive power because their leader can always keep swinging. And although I did find a Miss All Sunday, my what's it called? My babes, the Mr. 4s, they didn't show up. So the turn that I finally played out Miss All Sunday to try to do one more defensive play, I had a babe in hand, but not in the trash. So I wasn't able to play it out, and I ended up losing there. Probably could have taken it another turn and maybe pushed once more. Good at life, but Nami's a really hard deck to crack. So finished the day at 2 and 4. I think on the whole, it was mostly just learn to be a little more patient. I think in a slightly, if my opponents were a little bit more bricked than they were, then I would have had an angle to get there. But sometimes you choose to go for it and your opponent has it. So that is a quick tournament recap. I will throw up a visual of my going first, going seconds and my dice rolls. But yeah, that is it for this event. And I hope you guys kind of enjoyed the Crocodile Regionals prep series. And we will be going back into our kind of normal play some various decks kind of rhythm. OP15 is coming up soon, but we have a couple more weeks during which I will be playing Yellow Purple Robin and Yellow Purple Crocodile for the last 2 weeks before rotation, and OP15. And then based on what you guys voted for, I'll be playing Green Black Brook into OP15. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.